You know, it's sticking. I mean, my pandemic mullet is sort of like Trump. It's never really going to go away. Yeah, I'm keeping it. It's you know,
it's a little
like
Fabio. It's a little Fabio.
Everybody, I like that everyone thinks I'm the keyboard player from that band they liked in the '90s who tragically has the same hair. That's what I'm going for.
It is dreamy.
I look like
you look like
the
a romance
guy in the
novel.
LA cop show, like the LA cop show from the '90s, but the cop has rickets now. That's what I look like.
Yeah, you look like the keyboardist from the Verve Pipe.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
I look like John Wick in a Moroccan oil shortage.
Right.
That's like the worst TA in Slytherin house. That is the hair I'm going for.
It's fantastic and sexy liberal. All right. So where do we start today? I don't know if you saw this. On MSNBC, Brian Sicknick's partner, Sandra Garza, says that she holds Donald Trump 100% responsible for the events of January 6th insurrection, and this said that he has blood on his hands. Making this even more remarkable, Garza is a former Trump supporter, as was Brian Sicknick. Yeah. She pointed out she voted for Trump. Brian Sicknick voted for Trump. So, I mean, John, this is just one topic about what we do, but I do think Republicans just do this better. They would have already Benghazi'd 3 times by now. Like, stop waiting for this magical bipartisan leprechaun who's not showing up. Subpoena these and do this, right?
Yeah. I mean, we have to remember Brian Sicknick is dead for the same reason Ashley Babbitt is dead. Donald Trump's lies. His lies are the reason everyone died that day. And but I mean, the status quo is always stronger at enforcing the status quo. That's why progress takes a long time, and that's why it takes a long time to have any positive change. But look, would you believe that someone had told you 3 years ago that Joe Biden would be the guy to end Keystone XL?
Yeah. Like,
progress comes in unexpected ways. Would you have believed 2 months ago that Merrick Garland would be Donald Trump's best lawyer? Who knows? But it's all the fight.
You know what he said yesterday, John? He said it's not always easy to apply this rule of justice. It's not Democratic or Republican, whatever. He said sometimes it means we have to make a decision about the law that we would never have made and that we strongly disagree with as a matter of policy. He's just wrong on the E. Jean Carroll thing, I think, legally and morally. But I
think you're right. And on the E. Jean Carroll thing, he has the wiggle room by saying that he has to do it because it was a pre-existing policy and he can get out of it that way. And I understand it's very important to this White House that they're not seen as being punitive, that they're not seen as just trying to hurt Donald Trump for the sake of it. So they're going to pull a lot of punches like this. But while I get the E. Jean Carroll thing, and I disagree with it, but I understand his reasoning, saying that it's okay to keep this Trump law that private schools are allowed to discriminate against gay kids.
See, look how you complete me. Look what I had ready to go for Comedy Jesus. Yes, go ahead. Yes, the Justice Department said it will continue to defend a federal law that allows religious schools to discriminate against LGBT students. It's in the Oregon suit, right, from students at religious schools who were suing the government for providing funding to schools with discriminatory policy. The move seems to conflict with the Biden administration's March memo from the DOJ Civil Rights Division, pledging that all persons should receive equal treatment under the law, no matter their gender identity or sexual orientation. But it also aligns with the DOJ's duty to defend federal laws. Give it.
So what are you going to do? You're going to follow the law or follow the law, Garland? Which one? Choose one.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I have to hope that Hal Sparks, your fellow sexy liberal yesterday, feels like I have to hope that, as you just sort of alluded to as well, John, that they can't say he's being vindictive or just going, so when we get to the big ones, the obstruction of justice, hopefully, or the insurrection, that the big hammer is still going to come down. But I agree with you that some of these are just, I think it's wrong on the law as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely wrong on the law. It's wrong with the Constitution. It's not going to hold up, by the way. I think Merrick Garland knows damn well this will be challenged in court and hopefully overturned when we add enough Supreme Court justices to have a real Supreme Court. Let's not forget, in this 6-3 dynamic, of the 6 right-wing judges, 5 of them were nominated by presidents who lost the popular vote, and one was nominated by a president who opposed the '64 Civil Rights Act. So these are the six, okay? They're losers. They don't speak for the majority of Americans. It's not going to hold up. But what I was thinking was, after the Don McGahn testimony, right?
Yeah.
After that, and was released yesterday, I kind of feel like this sort of changes everything, because that's now part of the official record. So if we have to go ahead and defend Donald Trump in his defamation suit and have taxpayers pay the legal bills, if we have to support letting private religious organizations and schools ban gay kids, which, by the way, is not Christian, because we have to protect the institution of the presidency, well then, now that we have it in black and white that Donald Trump broke the law and committed obstruction of justice twice with Don McGahn, which Robert Mueller told us about years ago, what's Merrick Garland going to do now to protect the institution of the presidency after what we've learned?
How do we create that precedent? It's what I say every day, John. Did Jesus ever say anything about helping the poor? I don't speak
Quite
Bible like you do.
Rather,
did he?
It was actually the main thing he did. Yes,
really?
It was his.
Good to know.
The way Hank Williams focused on country music above hip hop and electronica, Jesus focused on helping the poor above being mean to gay people and criminalizing abortion. So yes.
Again, this is this ProPublica stuff. It's not like stuff we didn't know, that the rich people don't pay taxes. But it really is sort of stunning. The richest 25 Americans pay less in tax, 15.8% of adjusted gross income, than many ordinary workers do once you include taxes for Social Security and Medicare. So Jeff Bezos paid no income tax in 2007 and 2011. Elon Musk, his bill was zero in 2018. George Soros went 3 straight years, no federal income tax. So this was an anonymous source delivered to ProPublica. It's reams of IRS data on the country's wealthiest people. And so the using perfectly legal, here's the key, tax strategies, many of them are able to shrink their federal tax bills to nothing or close to it, which brings us back to who I voted for, Elizabeth Warren, once again saying why we should have a wealth tax of like friggin' penny or whatever it is, right? I mean,
maybe this is an area where we can get our right-wing friends to understand how the rich have rigged the system for themselves if we just focus on the George Soros part. Just tell people, does it make you angry that George Soros didn't pay taxes? And they'll forget that they're not angry that Donald Trump didn't pay taxes.
Right.
But again, this is a country that was founded by wealthy white males who didn't want to pay taxes and thought only they should be allowed to vote. So let's not be too shocked that the system's rigged for a certain type of powerful person, shall we? This is how it's always been. This is the struggle we're in.
You always say it best on Twitter. Rich people pay Fox people to make middle-class people blame poor people. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
See, you got a chuckle from Shane on that one.
By the way, why does Shane have to wear a mask and you riffraff get to walk around without any?
We are pro-choice here, and Shane wants to wear a mask.
It's his choice.
He decided that he wants to be known as Shane since a hate letter writer called him that. He is Forsaken Sean. We are all vaccinated. We're all fully vaxxed. He wants to wear a mask.
Right.
Yep.
And also, it's a Matt Weldon mask brought to you. One of the fine sponsors of the Stephanie Miller Show. Yes?
Well, it's his choice. I've respected his work in the fetish community for a long time, and I've seen some of his more elaborate masks he wears. So I think it's great that you're allowing kink to be a part of your broadcast on Free Speech.
Happy Pride.
Just get it straight. Travis Ballgag. Shane is the mask guy. Yeah.
Good for Free Speech TV for allowing all these perversions on their airwaves. I think it's really positive. That's going to help with the fundraising.
Thank you. Speaking of Twitter, no one hits back at your hate tweeters better than you do. Speaking of your hate mail and tweets, this one from Thom. Fugelsang has stupid fans. That says a lot about Fugelsang. You're making no sense. Jews do not believe the Bible's true. If they believe the Bible's true, they wouldn't be Jews. They'd be Christians. And you said to grab them by the pussy evangelicals, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you can say that now. That's great.
Well, it's a whole word. It's a whole word, pussy evangelicals. It's not like it's one word. It's an entire...
Grab by the pussy evangelicals is one long word. Yes, it is. And it is the name of people who put their faith in their Messiah, who happens to be an orange, bloated, racist landlord from Queens. The best part for me about seeing all these right-wingers outraged that Joe Biden is giving away 500 million shots to the rest of the world, these are the pro-life people who believe all life is sacred, and they're so mad we're giving it away.
Oh, he's giving it to countries.
Not making a profit off of people not dying in other countries.
Right. He's giving it to black people, though. That's in a lot of African countries. So that's, bad.
Paul Gosar, Laura Ingraham, these pro-lifers are really, really angry that our tax dollars are going to save lives that aren't fetuses. They're furious. They don't mean human life. They mean fetal life.
Right.
Again, this is the cult. This is the cult they're in. All you need is the Constitution and a copy of the New Testament, and I guess the Republican Party platform, except that doesn't exist anymore. It's whatever Trump wants.
Right.
Yeah.
Trump's never going to be president again, guys. He's never going to be president again.
I know. Well,
he'd have to be interviewed by other media. Like, it's not going to happen, but he can still do so much damage. But
yeah.
like,
well, they're trying to rewrite the history already of January 6th, which was only a short while ago. How about this new one? The police did not clear D.C.'s Lafayette Square of protesters so Trump could hold a photo op, according to some new report, the IG report. George Conway said, quote, "Are these people still going to be here when POTUS comes out?" Mr. Barr asked. The operations commander relied, "Are you freaking kidding me?" and then hung his head and walked away. Shortly after that, the confrontation turned violent. Brian Karam, our friend, the reporter, he said, "I was there. I know what I saw. However you wish to dice this." Peaceful protesters were gassed and pushed back from the church.
Yes.
Then he moved in and staged a photo op with a Bible upside down.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And so it wasn't Trump who gave the order. It was Bill Barr.
Right.
Who gave the order. Kayleigh McEnany confirmed that, by the way, at the time. And Bill Barr said that they cleared him out of Lafayette Park for security reasons. Now, the Inspector General, a Trump appointee,
Yes.
says, no, they cleared them out because the construction crews needed to build a fence.
Right.
These are the same people who lied that there was tear gas used here. And this guy, Mark Greenblatt, made this claim that they gassed the protesters so a contractor could install fencing. And then Trump just happened to walk through and hold a Bible upside down that he'd never read. The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command.
Thank you. They might have been going to install a fence, but here's the line. Attorney General Bill Barr urged officials to speed up the clearing process once Trump decided to walk through the area. So exactly. Yeah. It's just,
The real villain here, I'm sorry, the real villain on this one is not the right-wingers and Mark Greenblatt, because, this is Trump cult. Haters going to hate. The real villain is the mainstream media, who completely ran headlines exonerating Donald Trump, exonerating his administration from any wrongdoing because of this bogus report. All the mainstream media said, bombshell, IG report clears Trump, bombshell, and Trump took credit and said he was completely exonerated.
Yeah.
Again, Trump is not exonerated. You're thinking of the Central Park Five. And the mainstream media ran with this and did not do their due diligence in showing how this is yet another example of a cover-up 1 week after the Senate votes to have a cover-up of January 6th.
So before you go, you're a New York City resident. This is very exciting, just because it is, Stephanie Miller Show jingle related. Maya Wiley surging in the new mayor's race poll. What?
Yeah.
Having a nerdgasm of epic proportions right now. One of my legal ladies, because Maya Wiley today.
Wiley, super genius.
Stephanie's out of sight with Maya.
How do you do?
I'm on dynamite with Maya.
Mrs. Wiley.
Via satellite, it's Maya.
Maya Wiley. Okay.
It's really exciting. Shows what an AOC endorsement can do.
That's right.
AOC, Elizabeth Warren, right?
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I love seeing Maya Wiley in the lead for mayor and then Karine Jean-Pierre in the White House press room.
Yes.
It's like everybody I ever sat on a panel on MSNBC with is doing quite well. More people should hang out with me.
It's you, exactly. Well, Eric Adams is still in first, African American as well, 23%. But Maya Wiley has surged to 17% into second. Andrew Yang is 15%. I don't know what you think, John. I agree with Bob Seska. He's a political tourist. He's not qualified for anything. Anyway.
Well, I mean, no, you're qualified if you meet you're qualified to be president if you're born here and 35 years old. Like, he's qualified. The question is he experienced? Does he know what he's doing? And is this just a lot of grandstanding because he's decided he's rich enough to change careers without climbing the ladder the normal way? He has a right to run, but I'm really afraid we're going to be in a political world where we're all rooting for our favorite billionaires in every campaign.
Yeah. I don't want that.
Yeah, I think we're done with that.
And I have nothing against Andrew Yang, but he is proof that we need publicly funded elections, not privately funded elections, because it's going to get worse.
Thank you. All right, John, you're just as delightful on a Thursday instead of a Friday. Oh my God, it was a little premature, but good.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. What a pleasure. This is great. Let's do this again sometime.
All right.
Shall we?
Love you. Yeah. How about next Friday? See you then.